gonna get my haircut by the other creatures again. Well,
No.
unfortunately, for every person that told me to get a haircut, legitimately, that adds another month on to the time frame of not getting a haircut.
Let me go in.
So the next time I'll get a haircut is sometime in 2019.
Damn.
So it's a while.
That was a long ass
People who ask nicely, nothing happens. People who are mean about it, a month gets added on. What happened?
What?
Oh, there you go. Hey, look at that. You made it in.
That was like a cute.
Uh-oh, Thor Skilla.
Well, actually, what did you say? Oh, they took Cupid. Okay. Can't-
Womp womp. Am I ever doing Demon Souls?
I mean,
I played a little bit of Demon Souls. Didn't like it as much as Dark Souls.
really?
Didn't like it as much. So I
Scylla,
don't,
all right, I got you, Scylla. Jesus.
I don't know if I'll ever do that.
Who's going mid? Oh, Kronos
Thor.
mid? Is that even?
I hope it's Thor.
No, it's not. It's Kronos. Kronos mid, is it? Is that even viable?
Not the worst.
What is the worst mid at the moment?
Honestly don't know. I'm not sure. Kronos isn't that bad. His early game's pretty weak, but
Yeah.
I've seen people try to jungle him recently.
Jungle Kronos? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Jesus. Oh, after this, we're gonna have to talk about explain the link thing. I forgot.
Oh yeah. Well, we got time.
Yeah.
Riot.
Oh my God,
Riot.
Sly, what's up, dude?
Uh-oh.
Hi.
Oh man, Ares and Amir, a Tyr, a Guan, and a Neath. That's kind of a spooky team.
God.
The tanks are real.
Well, guess what? I'm not buying. I'm holding on hand real quick and getting beats ASAP.
Guess what needs to be bought ASAP? Some beads.
Jesus Christ, ain't no beats for my little girl. That's horrible.
I don't know what you just said, but it probably wasn't good. Am I gonna be doing Dark Souls 2? I'm gonna try. Keyword is try.
Oh my God. Okay, so I don't know what bill I'm gonna go, so I'm just gonna go with.
Oh, we got a DC already.
No, that's not bad. That's good. It's good for us.
Yeah, it's good for you, not them. Someone already booked it. Dem tanks. Yeah, Mir and Ares. It's pretty rough. Guan is pretty bulky, and so is Tyr. So the squishiest person on that team is Neath.
I think Kronos is gonna take mid though. Even though I asked for it all night. Fuck you. Oh. Kronos.
So what is Skilla? She's a
Skilla?
mage, if that's what you meant.
She's a girl with tentacles.
She is a girl with tentacles. She is a
and
mage.
dogs.
Anal beads or riot. It's gonna be a whole lot of riot.
I'm gonna try her mid. I don't know if it's gonna even work.
Sly uses middle mouse for jumping?
Yep.
Yep, he does. Confirmed. I got rid of my bind for jump.
I like jumping.
I hate jumping.
I think it's fun.
Well, the problem was that it caused a whole bunch of weird glitches when they first introduced it.
Yeah.
So now it's pretty much.
like the ultimate form of disrespect now.
Yep. Oh, enemy is returned. So we got about. Oh, hey, minions have spawned. All right, here we go.
Oh, okay.
So it looks like we're going to have an Amir mid, which is very odd. Amir actually can go mid, solo, and jungle, but this Amir already taking some damage from minions, so guess we're going to... Oh, Cupid's already dead by a Cyclops. Somehow, some way, Cupid has already died, probably trying to get a buff, so that's going to be pretty rough. Amir's freeze comes out. He's going to get his passive on. Amir doing a lot of damage! Amir coming out with the actual first blood. Skilla did not realize just how much damage that Amir can do. Amir does a lot of damage with his freeze and his passive very early on. If you don't know what Amir's passive is, I believe he gets an additional 100% damage on his next basic attack after he uses an ability. So Amir can be used in some very odd ways. A lot of people are just dying to Cyclopses, which we have several deaths already. Someone has already left the game. This is looking very, very bad already. I believe there are 3 or 4 deaths in the game so far, and only one is at the hands of an enemy. Every other death has come out from a buff camp or a minion, and Yeah, unfortunately, that doesn't really
make sure
count.
you explain that these are like accounts that we're trying to get.
These accounts are also very low leveled at this point, so there are going to be some very odd things that happen. Some very professional plays. So it looks like Red Team is going to have a very hard time getting this done. 3 or 4 of them have already died, and even though it doesn't give any gold or experience to the enemy team, just getting set back is very rough. We've had at least 3 different people in the mid lane already. Amir has been here. Guan Yu, I believe, was here at one point, and now Ares is here, but Ares is taking a lot of damage just due to minions and getting poked, so Ares already at half health. This is a very bold strategy. Amir got a kill in mid lane, and then went right back to right lane, and is doing whatever there, so yeah, this is going to be a very obscure, odd game.
Yeah.
If Ares stays here and he gets ignorant, oh, this looks like the death of Ares. Ares coming out with the fire, the root slash Dealy comes out, and that's just Amir right there. So that's basically what Amir did to Skilla early on, but Skilla learned, Ares did not, and Ares goes down very quickly. Unfortunately, it's going to be a very hard carry this game because we already have an ally who's been DC'd, and Amir picking up a Cupid kill in, I believe, right lane. So this Amir has 2 kills already. This Amir already has 2 kills. And that's going to be kind of rough if this Amir knows what he's doing. Guan Yu heading over to mid lane, coming out of the forest over there. Skilla missing her 1, but landing the 2, and the ult comes out, and that is a very dead Guan Yu. I believe she also shoved some tentacles down Ares' throat. Ares is back to less than half health, just getting back after dying, and he's forced to retreat back under tower. His chains come out, but he's at least 3 city miles away, and his chains just don't go that far. Stand still, gets hit by that. The 2 comes out, and that is a dead-ass Ares in mid lane. So it looks like it's going to be basically up to Skilla. Amir comes out of the forest as well, chasing. Skilla completely out of mana, and this could be the end for Skilla. Amir looks like he's breaking off and is not going to attack. Good thing for Skilla, because Skilla has absolutely no mana to do anything. Amir coming through the forest. Is he going to get there in time? Nope. Turns the corner, doesn't care. And there you go. This is going to be a very unorthodox game. I believe Skilla has just finished up a Doom Orb, if I'm correct.
Yep.
Doom Orb is a slightly weak item when you first get it, but you do get stacks on it. You get 2 magical power per stack, and you receive 2 stacks for a god kill and 1 stack for minion kill, which means if you get this item fully stacked up, it will do a lot of damage.
I'm happy that I'm helping you with Vicious over there.
There you go. Yeah, thank you. It helps out a lot.
Yeah, I figure. I'm listening to you. I'm like, all right, this is what he wants to see. All right, cool.
Doom Orb is kind of a high-risk, high-reward item in the fact that if you die, you lose half of your stacks, which could be a problem. Mir coming out of the forest again, coming out of the jungle, gonna freeze, gonna use his 2, gonna ult, and doesn't matter. Skilla does have that 3 available to her, which gets her out of any danger. Like I said, from the last match, one of the few mages that actually does have some sort of viable escape, the other being Agni. Ares misses his chain by a mile, doesn't have his ult, so Skilla doesn't really need to be afraid. Ares juking every single ability in the game, but unfortunately, minions do a shit ton of damage when you just sit there and take it. Skilla's ult coming out, killing Ares, getting another shot at Amir, and Amir is very hurt, using her 3 to pursue. The 1 comes out, misses, but the 2 is going to come back up right here, right now, and that is a dead Amir. Getting revenge for the first blood kill on him earlier on, and Amir, after getting 2 kills, gets shut down. Seems like this is potentially going to be an easy game for Skilla. Unfortunately, 2 allies are now DC'd, so it is a 3v5, and this is going to be an even harder carry for Skilla, now that 2 people have DC'd.
Are you serious?
Yes.
God damn
The good news is that some tower damage will be coming out here as Ares meanders back to lane. The 1 misses again. The 1 does damage and roots and cripples someone, which basically counts as a stun. If you hit it, they are very hurt. Ares getting very ignorant again. The 1 misses again. Skilla's going to have to really kind of home it in after missing several of those in a row. Unfortunately, that does lead to Ares getting away, but Skilla's already way far ahead of this Ares at level 8 compared to level 4, so not a whole lot of trouble there. Amir coming out of the right jungle, blinks in and freezes, and this is going to hurt. The 2 comes out, 1 basic attack will end her, and the ult comes out, and that is it. He pops it early, and Skilla goes down. So we got a Blink Amir on our hands.
That's definitely okay.
Otherwise known as Blink Mir. And that is kind of
that's a legit name.
Blink Mir, yes.
Blink Mir.
Blink Mir.
Okay.
Blink Mir.
Okay.
So Amir has Blink, and we have to be very careful of that.
Okay.
That is going to hurt very early on. What is Amir building right now, by chance?
I'll show you right now.
Amir is building magic damage. So this Amir just kind of screams Smurf at the moment. If you don't know what a Smurf is, it's a player who has probably a higher level account who does have some skill or potentially a lot of skill at the game. who plays on a lower level account to kind of feed off of new players to get easy wins, to, you know, what have you, do whatever. And Amir has Blink, and he's building magic damage, and he's also level 10. Now, unfortunately, magic damage Amir is very, very scary. He does a lot of damage early on, and once he gets that Polynomicon, it's basically GG unless it gets to late game, which, of course, magic damage Amir does fall off pretty hard when it comes to late game. So, looks like Amir is going to be the main problem here, unfortunately, because of 2 DCs on the Allied team, and an Amir who appears to know what he's doing. This is going to be a very, very difficult game for Skilla to win here. Wards are a must at this point. Amir can easily come into the jungle, blink into lane, and completely blow Skilla up. So wards are going to be a must here. Getting beads to get out of his freeze also going to be a must here. But gonna have to keep a close eye on that map to make sure that Amir is not anywhere near him, because, like I said, that Amir is level 10, so is Skilla. But because of the nature of Amir, he just does a lot of damage, and because he knows what he's doing, clearly, that's going to be even tougher to deal with. So Amir meanders back to mid lane. Got to watch out for that blink. It probably is back up now, and just kind of zoning out a little bit here as 2 is down. The freeze comes up, though, but the cripple and the root does work out well. The bead's coming out there just for safety measures. And yes, this Amir definitely appears to know what he's doing. His freeze is down, but it probably will be coming up very shortly here. And this is pretty much going to be the battle of Skilla and Amir, as Amir does have a pretty good idea of what he's doing. Left lane goes down, but Amir blinks back in the lane, gets a 2 off, gets a freeze. Skilla pops her ult, and is not going to get it off. Skilla's ult does give CC immunity for a certain amount of time. Unfortunately, that Amir just does way too much damage, and that Amir is going to be a very big problem here. Very, very big problem. Seems like we have some BM coming from the PMs as well, for some reason.
No, there's no BM.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty positive.
He's pretty positive. I'm not talking on your end.
Oh,
I'm not saying on your end.
I'll say BM?
No.
Oh.
You seem to be getting some fun messages there.
Am I?
Yes. I see them popping up every so often.
Oh. Yeah, that's definitely BM.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Someone's being really nice in chat. This game does look pretty much all but over due to the fact that there are 2 DCs. No BM, people. BM is bad. Womp womp. So yeah, with 2 DCs, this game is probably as good as over. I mean, I can see them coming back and winning, but it's just going to be very, very difficult. Skilla's going to try and get some buffs to try and keep her farm up, but I don't know. I just don't know what's going to happen. So Amir is in right lane at half health, and here comes the Chronos slow stun, and this Amir is blown completely the fuck up. He finally falls after getting several kills uncontested. Left lane is also down as well. Unfortunately, with just 2 DCs, it's going to be very hard to be able to defend anything. Anytime you push something, the enemy team is going to have at least 2 more people somewhere else doing something that you can't really stop. The best course of action would be to honestly split up 1 person for each lane, but even then, that is very difficult to overcome. I just don't see any way with 2 DCs that anything good would be able to come from this. Good news is that the right lane is probably going to fall here with Chronos and Skilla and a couple minions beating around at it. Amir is dead, or was dead, and is coming back up now. The DND comes out, the Do Not Disturb. Skilla a little bit sick of getting disturbed here, so that's going to come out. Probably a good choice there, honestly. Probably a good choice for that DND to come out. Very well-placed DND. Give it a 10 out of 10. Amir picking off Chronos, and yeah, this is just probably about as good as over. Ares is probably completely dead here. As you can see, the tower just chunking him pretty hard. And that is going to be the end of that. Forgot Blinkmere. Yeah, Blinkmere is someone you can just never forget about. He's always there, and he's always going to be there.
He's always on your side.
He's never on your side. Amir is behind, so Skilla is just going to have to wander around and get the hell out while she can. Seems like they're gearing up for an assault on mid lane with at least... There were 3 people here. Amir is probably not going to be afraid to tower dive at this point. Unfortunately for Amir, he is not going to be as tanky as he should be, building magic damage, but we'll see how that goes for him. Looks like Tyr is going to cover mid lane while Ares does whatever. Ares was in mid lane and died earlier. Who knows where he went off to now. Blink Amir has disappeared back into the jungle, and, you know, the Blink Amir threat is always real. Guan Yu is behind between Tier 1 and Tier 2 tower. I'm not sure if...
Yeah, I saw.
Skilla did see that. I don't know why Guan Yu is back there, but hey, to each their own. And it appears that the red team is getting counter-jungled at this point. Kronos going and checking that speed buff over there, and it was probably just freshly taken, it looks like. So, there you go. Everything seems quiet on the western front here. Neath defending left against another Neath. Kronos defending mid against minions, and right lane pushing itself, it seems. No one is really seen on the map. Neath is in left, but everyone else is kind of unaccounted for. Looks like Roman Range came hard to the fight, but blown up in one ability, so all that training for naught. Guan Yu and Amir are in mid lane. Kronos has to pop his ult to get away, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Tyr is showing up as well, and that is more than likely one dead-ass Kronos in mid. Just depends on whether or not they will tower dive him. It looks like Guan Yu is going hard in the paint there, chasing him around to buff. And yes, Kronos cannot kite them well enough, just 3v1. They're pretty far ahead at this point. Kronos not really going to be able to do it. Guan Yu popping out of the jungle near mid-camps. The rest of his team is probably sure to follow very closely after they get this tower. Ares dies trying to tank it, and that mid-tower is not gone quite yet. Tyr using his escape, or trying to use one of his escapes to get away, just took way too much damage sitting under tower or trying to fight Kronos, and he's going to go down to Skilla's 1. Guan Yu does run into the forest to get away, but oh boy, what do we got here? Skilla using all of her abilities, gonna ult. He's gonna dash and get out of the ult. The slippery Guan Yu dash gets him out of it. Skilla's ult misses, and that surely would have been the end of Guan Yu, but unfortunately, he's just gonna get away. Skilla's still gonna pursue him. Pops out of the jungle, pretty much blinks Skilla, misses her 2, but misses her 1, but does hit the 2. He is not rooted, he is not stunned, he's not anything. He's very low on mana, so unless Amir or someone else can come up to kind of help him out, this Guan Yu is as good as dead, and there you go. Guan Yu does fall. Amir not anywhere to be seen on the map. Looks like Ares is going to get completely demolished here as well. There he goes. Kronos easily killing him with skill on his side. Blinkmere comes out of the jungle, freezes Kronos. Going to put his wall up in ult, but Kronos is going to try to walk out of it, doing half of his health. The 2 comes out from Amir, but Skilla does avoid it with her 3, and it looks like they're just going to disengage here, not wanting to really fight this Amir, who is level 15 compared to Skilla's level 15, but Kronos is 2 levels behind, and again, with 2 DCs, it's just way too hard. Amir looks like he's wandering around the jungle here. Skilla might be able to pick him off. He's going to be doing mid-camps here. Guan Yu is with him as well. Amir does retain some of his tankiness and health just because he is Amir, even if he is building magic damage. So only about half of his health disappearing in that. What was that?
He got Void Stone, so I'm not going to be able to do that.
And he also has Void Stone, which is giving him a little bit of magic protection. So he is obviously building against Skilla. And Kronos, it would seem, not really having to deal with Neath, who has just been stuck in left lane trying to defend it from enemy Neath. But again, 2 DCs, just not going to be good. After dying to Cyclops a couple of times, it seems like his teammates were not ready to do the PvE portion of this game. Cyclopses, are pretty overpowered in the beginning of the game. It's not advised to take them on by yourself without a hog as well. If you have a hog, you can take out maybe a buff or 2, but it's more suggested to have a friend at the buff to make sure you don't die. But it seems like people did not heed the warnings. Guan Yu and looks like Tyr are in the jungle, in enemy jungle, his jungle. Guan Yu has to pop his ult to get away, and he is going to get away, but without Guan Yu's ult, that makes him a lot less effective. But it looks like he's going to stay in mid lane for some reason. Gets hit by the 2 and it completely blows him up. Ares is just going straight for the tower to try and get rid of it, but he is also going to die, and the tower remains up for now. It has a sliver of health, and it's not going to stay up for much longer, especially when Blinkamere comes out of the woods. Blinkamere comes out of the woods, and his ult is completely negated, which is fantastic. Skilla's ult comes out. The 2 misses by a millimeter, and unfortunately that Amir, slippery, icy Amir, is going to meander back and not die. He blinks in. This is a very, very... Oh, my God. The blink Amir. The damage comes out from him is just too real. Oh, Kronos comes out and does kill Amir, though. Honestly, not worth it for Amir. Even if he took Skilla down, that Amir is probably worth a lot more golden experience. Kronos just sending Tyr on his way back under tower, so... That
was refreshing.
Very good play by Kronos, taking out the Amir after his Skilla had just died, avenging her in the way that he knew he could. And, again, if the other 2 allies had stayed in, this might be a different game, but unfortunately they just left, and no matter how good or bad they were, just being down 2 people is very, very hard to come back from.
Should actually.
And that will be middle tower falling down as Tyr and Ares do finally get to take it down. Neath again staying in left lane against the enemy Neath. Not much going on there.
Pretty dead lane. We're going to push them.
It's a pretty dead lane. Seems like Neath versus Neath is just going to stay on the left side while everyone else just roams and tries to take towers. Ares goes down as well, but Ares was set back pretty early. Ares still at level 9 compared to Kronos' level 15, Neath's level 14, and Scylla's level 17. So Ares is going to get blown up pretty fast. Scylla is going to pick up the speed buff, which does make the auto attacks that come out, the basic attacks come out a little bit faster, as well as increasing movement speed. Neath is going to get ganked here, crippled and rooted, not able to backflip, gets blown up by the two. Being crippled and rooted, Neath is not able to escape as easily. Not paying attention to the map, may not have wards, and that is one dead Neath. So Scylla allowing her Neath to possibly push up a little bit here. Amir is in middle lane trying to defend that, does push it out successfully. Guan Yu is in right lane, so this could be easy to push up. Amir is missing from mid, so it's probably only a matter of time before he shows up over here. More than likely. It would not be much of a surprise. Looks like, never mind. Amir does take out Kronos in the jungle over there. It's just very hard to deal with the Blink Amir who knows exactly what he's doing. Ares coming up in mid lane does show up there, but Scylla's 3 gets her out. Amir's Blink may be up. If he hasn't maxed out, it has a pretty low cooldown of only about maybe 45, 60 seconds. So he is able to get that Blink up and running pretty easily. Scylla's going to have to back off here, not really wanting to deal with Amir at this point. Amir is level 18 compared to Scylla's level 18, but Amir's just going to be doing a lot of damage. He is going to tower dive and not really care. Comes in with the freeze, comes in with the 2. Doesn't do as much damage as he would have hoped, and he's going to have to run away, having all of his abilities pretty much on cooldown. And I don't know, if they can get to late game and they can out carry the rest of them,
There we go.
they could win 3v5, but it's just extremely unlikely. Amir coming through the jungle, not going to have enough speed to get over there. Luckily, Scylla avoiding any issues from that. But Neath is in mid lane by herself, and against a level 18 Amir, she's probably not going to have much of a chance. She's going to have to be very careful in that middle lane. Kronos has probably just come back up recently, trying to look for buffs to try and stay farmed up. Looks like he might be doing their blue as Neath pushes left. Amir is counter-jungling attack as Tyr counter-jungles the mini-harpies. Amir turning his attention to try and help his Tyr. And Tyr popping his ult even though he was completely safe. So that is Tyr's ult down for pretty much little to no reason. Amir was there and he was safe and sound. But again, Amir has his blink and is easily able to blink through the walls if he knows where he is at. And that is going to spell trouble for Scylla or just anyone in general who gets in his way. No idea where Amir went. He probably went to counter jungle red team's buffs. As we continue on, both mid camps do appear to be taken down. Neath still sitting in left lane trying to desperately defend that tier 2 tower against anyone who may be coming up to it. Doing a pretty decent job, but the lack of presence in any team fights is really going to hurt. This might be mid tower down. Amir is missing, but that is mid tower. Amir does show up in mid lane with Ares. Looks like Amir is going to go into the jungle and try and sneak attack from behind, but Scylla wise enough to walk away and try and help her left lane, where Kronos looks like he's ready for a gank. Scylla's ready for a gank. So this may be one very dead Guan Yu, even before Scylla shows up. Gets the root and cripple out, and that is one dead Guan Yu. So rest in peace, Guan Yu. We hardly knew ye. You may want to buy some wards. That might help you out a little bit, but 3-on-1, Guan Yu is going to easily fall. Level 14 Guan Yu is a lower level than all 3 of them. But it looks like the blue team is going to be pushing up mid. Neath and Kronos do go over there as Scylla begins the split push. And that Amir, again, nowhere to be seen. Neath comes back to lane, misses her 1 by a mile, and probably doesn't want to fight this Scylla. Oh, she's got Amir with her, though. The ult comes out and misses. Blink, Amir blinks, hits his freeze, but the beats come out, and Scylla is going to try and get away as best as she can. The 3 comes up in 5 seconds, so as long as he doesn't die within the next 2 seconds or so, this should be pretty good. Tyr comes out and misses. Looks like he might have popped his sprint. Yep, pops his sprint, runs back into the jungle to do what? I don't know. Maybe go find Little Red Riding Hood or the Big Bad Wolf, neither of which are in this game. I guess you could count Fenrir, but he's not currently being played. And there is no Little Red Riding skin in this game as far as I know.
Not yet.
Not yet, but a lot of people want Scylla to have a Little Red Riding Hood skin. Yeah. We'll see what they do in the next, who knows. But Amir kind of juking the one that comes out. He's going to get pushed away by Kronos here. Not doing a whole lot of damage. We'll see what Amir does here. Probably waiting for his abilities to come back up. There's the freeze. Okay, the freeze. No, the freeze was actually stopped and comes back up, doing a lot of damage to Skilla. Kronos is still completely fine for the most part, so he's going to go ahead and chase Amir off as Skilla gets away. Let's see. Even though Amir is very low in health, he can easily turn this around. Neith does come up and tries to help her Amir. Uh-oh, here comes the ult. Amir jukes it by walking away, and this is going to be tough. Neith's all comes out. Guan Yu is there. Tyr is there. Everyone was there. So Amir with a successful bait on Skilla gets Skilla to stay and run into the rest of his team. Unfortunately, the ult misses, and if Skilla had hit the ult, Amir would have been dead. Yeah. Probably would have been worth it, but the ult is kind of hard to hit, honestly. There's a ramp-up time for it, and it's not the biggest area to hit ever, so it could be pretty easy to avoid that ult if you do know it's coming, if you do predict it, if you do have an Aegis amulet, which I don't think Amir has, but he could. He just simply walked out of it, and it's kind of how it goes with Skilla's ult. Unfortunately, Skilla, being the high level that she is in this game, is going to be down for a bit, leaving only 2 teammates to defend 3 different lanes, which there actually is a DC on the enemy team. Someone did DC. It looks like Ares left. So Ares wasn't that big of a threat anyway. The numbers are kind of evened up a little bit more, which makes it a little bit easier. If Ares would have stayed, even though he did seem a bit inexperienced, he could have been some help with his ult and some of his other abilities, despite being under-leveled. But that just makes it a little bit harder for the blue team to win now and kind of evens it up a little bit for the red team. So we'll see how this goes. Doesn't look like anyone else is ready to give up just yet on the enemy team. Guan Yu is at level 15 and Tyr is at level 14, but they are sticking it out. Probably being pep-talked by their Amir to just stay, and they will win because they have the number advantage still with 1 DC. There's Tyr wandering around. Looks like the enemy team, blue team, is doing Gold Fury. Skilla is going to contest it. Guan Yu is going to die. It looks like Tyr is going to stay. Tyr's going to get hit by the ult, get a bunch of tentacles shoved down his throat, and go down. I'm not sure who picked up Gold Fury there.
We did.
You stole it?
I think we stole it.
All right, so it looks like Skilla thinks they stole it. Not really sure what happened, but the gold is actually surprisingly even for it being a 5 versus 3 for the longest time. The blue team is only up by a couple hundred gold, less than 1,000 at this point, which really says a lot for the red team. Skilla is going to split push. Amir is in middle lane fighting Kronos, and if blue team doesn't play this well enough, this could be a very quick loss. Looks like they had a commanding lead earlier and looked very easily able to win this, but at this point, who knows? Kronos looks to still be fighting Amir in middle lane. Can't really tell. Yes, Amir is still fighting Kronos in middle lane, so Skilla looks to be mostly free to fight this. Guan Yu is going to ult. He is going to lose half of his health in the process of doing so. Tyr is going to ult too, but it's doing no damage to level 20 Skilla. Amir is nowhere to be found still. Guan Yu, for some reason, thought it best to start attacking a mid camp, or a mini Fury camp, which surely led to his death. I'm not sure exactly what he was trying to do. Maybe get a little bit of experience before he died because he knew he was going to die. But again, that is Guan Yu. His ult is down and he is dead. Tyr is left to defend right lane, and Amir has gone. Who knows where Amir is? You know, slippery blink Amir. He could be anywhere on the map at any time. The gold has gone in favor of red team. Somehow, some way, 3v5, they're doing their best. There's Tyr dashes past the one. Is not going to get crippled or rooted by that. Amir is back in middle lane as Skilla applies pressure on the right Phoenix, as Kronos applies pressure, a little bit of pressure in middle lane. Amir disappearing from the map up there, and again, Neith is just sort of sitting in left lane defending that as best as she can, so things have kind of evened out a little bit. Kronos calls incoming Amir, so Skilla has to be very careful. Having less than half health, there is Neith. Neith is crippled and rooted. Not going to be able to do enough damage. The ult is possibly going to come out. The beads come out prematurely just to make sure. And Skilla does pick up the Neith. Not sure if she's going to be able to get away from Amir here. Amir is going to wall him off. This freeze is down for the time being. And Skilla is pretty much stuck by herself. Is going to have some very slippery jukes to get out of here. Blink Amir does blink and is going to get him. And this is going to be the end of Skilla here. Unfortunately, Amir, very, very good with the pursuing there. Yeah, is not going to back off at all.
On him too.
Yeah, Guan Yu with him, and despite Skilla trying her best with beads, the walking Aegis, and using her 3, not quite slippery enough. but did apply quite a bit of pressure on right lane, did get tier 2 tower. The Phoenix did not go down, unfortunately. Took Neath with her, but